Good evening. My name is Bill Floyd. I'm here with Tom Camarella. Would you tell us a little bit about yourself, Tom?
Well, I was a union rep for 20 years, and I negotiated a lot of contracts, about $5 billion worth. So.
Great. And you worked with the nurses, I think, and other
Yes.
other groups?
Yes.
Great, great.
All hospital and medical people.
Great, great. And my background is I worked for the CWA, the Communication Workers of America telephone in New York, and I worked for the NALC, the letter carriers, and the Writers Guild of America, 3 AFL-CIO unions. Okay.
We love and appreciate unions.
Yeah.
That's where we start from.
Right. Okay. Now, the normal procedure is for the unions or people in favor of these candidates to give their money to the Democratic National Committee. But the Democratic National Committee doesn't always give the money to the candidate. They give it to the opposition to the candidate, whoever they like better. Usually a corporate Democrat, somebody in favor of war, someone against Medicare for all. That's where they give the money, the DCCC and the DNC, Democratic National Committee and Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, DCCC.
But then it gets even worse, because what does the DCCC do? They give it to the very, very large media conglomerates, i.e. Corporate.
Yeah, in other words, okay, let's talk about it. Corporate television is owned by a group you never heard of called Sinclair Broadcast and Comcast.
Extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is 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 extremely dangerous to our democracy.
You may have heard. And that's the CBS, ABC, and NBC circuit. They have the most viewers, but they're dropping like lead balloons.
And also Fox.
And Fox. Then the second one, of course, is the cable television, which is news all 24/7. That's owned by the same corporate people. However, that's CNN, MSNBC, and Fox. Fox is cable. And their audience share, believe it or not, used to be around 3 million. It's because of the lies that have been going on constantly. It's down to 1 to 2 million viewers. And then we have the online platform of the Young Turks, that's TYT News, TYT Politics, and about 10 other channels. The Young Turks, now they get 25,000 to 100 million viewers, especially during the primary against Hillary Clinton, where he took the side of Bernie Sanders. He had millions of viewers. Then there's a Jimmy Dore show. They get 5,000 to 100,000. And there's Labor Union TV, which is coming up fast. We get 67,000 on Bernie Sanders' speech to 1 million views. We now have 1,200,000 hits on Labor Union TV. Young people have stopped watching television. They don't have time to sit down in front of a TV. You know what they do? They look at their cell phone while they're waiting for a bus, waiting for a school to start, waiting for their girlfriend to call, waiting for their boyfriend to call, waiting for the dog to do its thing.
We have a wonderful section where you go right to it. It's called the Blue Wave.
It's not just called the Blue Wave. It's called the Blue Wave of pro-labor candidates for Congress. Blue Wave pro-labor. There's Blue Wave and then there's pro-labor. These are the pro-labor candidates.
Now we put that against the major corporations and the big channels, and guess what? Every time they do something, they send little barbs about unions. They're not very positive about unions. But we love unions. We're going to be positive, and we are positive about unions and what unions can do, what they've done in the past, and what they can do in the future.
Yes. Well, what have they done in the past?
Well, let's see. We have 8-hour days, we have vacations, we have holidays, we have health and safety that wasn't around. We have child labor laws. And we help put through Social Security and many other things.
And unemployment insurance, we
Yes.
get laid off, which is at every capitalist cycle. We're coming up for another crash of the market and everybody will be laid off. So unemployment insurance pays them until the capitalists decide to get the economy going again.
But today's young people, they don't know about this because they don't get it in school anymore. And the unions haven't been doing a great job about educating their members either.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's something that we can do also on our channel.
Labor Union TV.
Labor Union TV
That's right.
shows what union has done in the past, what is doing now, and what it can do in the future.
Right.
And that's something that millennials and all those young people need to hear.
Right. So now we've already proved that the 70 blue wave candidates that are going to against the Republicans in November, but there's about 70. On our website we have about 40 or 50, but there's 70 altogether according to news sources. And these have already won against corporate Democrats. You understand, they won their primaries against corporate Democrats using only online media because the corporate media didn't cover them. Corporate media covered Joe Crowley. He paid $4 million against Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. And that $4 million went to ABC, CBS, and Sinclair and all the other lying people. And the only Young Turks, Labor Union TV, and Jimmy Dore show are the ones that covered her, and she won. Not only did she win, but the other 70 candidates, the 3 Native Americans, the 4 Muslims running for Congress and for governor, 3 natives, and they're all on Labor Union TV. So don't act like you don't know who's running for Congress. They're right there for you to see. First page that you open up, Labor Union, pro-labor candidates for Congress.
And because we get them coverage, we can also hold them accountable for what they've done and what they say, and they are pro-labor.
And they'll be even more pro-labor. The communications person for each union directly gets in touch with these candidates, manager or whoever is handling their campaign. Stay away from the Democratic National Committee. Stay away from the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, DCCC. Stay away from those poison institutions. Talk to the candidate, and we will get films made of them. Either we'll make them, or Jimmy Dore can do it, or the Young Turks can do a film. And we'll save a lot of money, and the money will go directly to getting the candidate elected instead of to the corporate media that, as soon as the election's over, starts talking about, is there a smell in the room? There must be a union person here. They're thugs. Look how big they are. Look how many show up for fighting for $15 an hour. My God, how can we do business with all these people, all these thugs here? And the unions are constantly being put down on corporate media. They are the enemy.
And with the changes that have happened in media recently, the unions, we can go directly to the members and to the general public and show how important we are. That's what we need to get over.
Right.
They're not getting it in schools, they're not getting it any place. That's what we do.
If the communications person at the union starts building up a relationship with these candidates who are 20, 30 years old, they will be pro-labor candidates for life. Just nurse them through this election. Help them personally, directly. The unions help them directly, and they will know whose side they're on when they get to Washington.
Okay, so I think we've made a reasonable case for you to put a little more money, and maybe a lot more money, into the other media, which is the ones we mentioned, which would be Labor Union TV, the Young Turks, and Jimmy Dore.
Well, Jimmy Dore needs the money. They're new, so they need money if you're going to put them on there. I mean, he'll do the interviews by Skype for free, but if you're going to do a bunch of candidates, you probably should do a donation. We need a donation. Labor Union TV, we just got started, so we definitely need a donation. We're thinking 50% of your ad dollars should go to Jimmy Dore and should go to Labor Union TV. That's what we think. And we'll schedule interviews by way of Skype directly with a candidate. We're not going to go through the Democratic National Committee. We're at war with them right now until Bernie decides what he's going to do.
So that's what we're looking for, and we hope you appreciate what we've mentioned here. And